Good evening. How everyone doing today? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Army J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a word on tonight. We're gonna sit at a table like a king and a queen. This gonna come from Jonathan's son. His name is very long, Mephibosheth, something like that. So I'm gonna be saying Jonathan's son. It's gonna come from Samuel, 2 Samuel, chapter 9, verse 1 through 12. Now David wants to show kindness, and give all that belongs to Saul, and to someone in Saul's bloodline. Now they killed Saul, they killed Jonathan, so he don't know who else is still alive in Saul's bloodline. Now David asks, is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness in Jonathan's sake, because he loved Jonathan like his brother, So to remember, David ain't too long got on the throne, after Saul's death. Now David did not speak, of Saul's death, but spoke of showing kindness to anyone in the bloodline who may be alive, because him and Saul was after, Saul was running, but for half of his life running behind David. So now there was a servant of Saul, household named Ziba. Now they summoned him to appear before David. And the king said to him, are you Saul's servant? At your servant, he replied, most kings try to wipe out the family, of their order to prevent any deceiving from seeking throne. And see, that's how it was. Back then, might be still now, still now going on. People do anything to get your throne, your crown, your history spot. They will do anything to get it. So when they found out that Saul was gone, they tried to make sure everyone was gone in the bloodline. But David will show kindness to Jonathan's son, now who father was Jonathan. Now he, who was a grandfather, for the king of Saul. Now David had loved Jonathan. Now they had a covenant together. He loved Jonathan. He trusted Jonathan like he was his brother. Now the king asked, is there anyone still alive, from the house of Saul, to who he can show God kindness, and Ziba answered the king, there is, still a son of Jonathan, and he is lame in both feet. Now, his son was 5 years old. Jonathan's son was 5 years old. We didn't even know he had a son, but the nurse grabbed him, and he fell. That's how he became to be lame in both his legs. Now, the son, Jonathan's son, now he was 5 years old, when his father and grandfather was killed in battle. Now imagine you 5 years old. Your mother, your son, your dad, and your grandfather is dead. And you just the only one that's left alive. So after the nurse were afraid that they would come, and try to get the son, because it's about the throne. They're just like this lady I had put out like 2 weeks ago. When she realized the son was dead, that who was supposed to get the throne, but he died, and so he left he had about 10 children. She killed all 10 of her grandkids for the throne, and she still didn't receive it. And so this case here, she took him in fleet. The nurse took him in fleet and hurried, because they killed all of them. She know they was coming for the son to leave, and he felt and he become disabled. And so this situation is God showing power, not through this boy, weakening and brokenness, but God has set a table for him. God had hide this boy. God hide this boy. God wait for a perfect time. See, God had this table set for him. God waited for this perfect time, to have this table set for him. God set this table for him and bless it. God set it all aside, and God made sure no one else gonna receive it but this boy here. Now he had been hidden for years, but now God is about to have him to come out high, stand out. This God plan, since he was 5 years old. Everyone was taken in battle. God made sure of that. So this boy can be the only one can have this throne in a blessing. Now, this boy had found sanctuary, to live. Now, this boy also was strong, and he lost his parents, his grandfather. Now, he did not get bitter. That's just amazing. He did not get bitter, but build a family of his own. He didn't let them stop him. He's disabled. He didn't let them stop him. He had a wife and he still had kids. This boy here was the last survivor. And he made the best of his life, without getting bitter with God. Now where is he? David said, where is he? David not worried about he disabled. David worried about that I love Jonathan and then his son alive, I'm really going to show kindness to him. And so the king asked, servant, he answered, he is at the house, he at the house of son of Ammon, in Deborah, so he like on a small island somewhere. Remember, God hired him, and he still live a normal life, but far away. He is in the house, in the house of Ammon, that this man had been a generous man. Now he entertained this boy out of his compassion. Now God fixed it well. He went out somewhere. And then God found somebody that his neighbor is very nice and gentle. Because God gonna try to make sure you around the same people that that your heart is. So Jonathan was David's friend, and therefore he showed kindness to his son. He know God had been good to him. Now why not show kindness to someone else? He could have kept it to himself. But he said, why not find someone in Saul's bloodline? And this boy was the only survivor. Now King David had him brought from Deborah, from the house of Amir. The son was about to receive what God had waiting for him. Now he had the right for the throne and the blessing. And see, God have things set for you. Have things set for you. He was the son of the firstborn of Saul and other heir that was dead. So he was entitled to it. So that's why God, did not let no one else survive from the bloodline. And this boy was the only survivor. The God is about to show his power and glory through this boy's life. This boy here was disabled. Lost his parents and grandfather. Living with the nurse way in the small island somewhere. And she still teach him manners and all that, and he still prayed to God. Now this little boy, he must have was a little boy when he was encountered with God. And so now, God about to take him out of hiding. God about to give him blessing, a throne. And so when this boy, Jonathan's son, Saul came, the son of Saul that came to David, he bowed down, to pay him honor. Now David, had said to the son, "At your servants," he replied. Now he well mannered. This nurse had teach him well. She teach him sensory, because he was disabled. He teach him, don't, let your disabled, just slow you down. She still taught him how to be well mannered, taught. And so when he saw David, he bowed down to show honor. He very respectful. And now this boy was afraid to visit the king. Now who wants to treat him like a prince? And so this son was fear, his coming. That's what he was saying. He wants to treat him like he said he wanted to treat him like a prince. He was a king. No, he was a king. New life. This boy feared his coming. new life, and he felt unworthy. So he bowed down to David, and then he felt unworthy because of this disability. Now David had wanted to honor him and show him love and loyalty, and he had promised to Jonathan. Now this is a good friend. When your friend is gone, you still being honored to your friend. What you had promised. Now don't be afraid, David had said to him, for I will surely show you kindness, for the sake of your father Jonathan. I restore, to you all the land that belongs to your grandfather. And you will always eat at my table. Now, not only he gonna give blessings, and everything belongs to Saul, but he gonna eat at the table. Number kings eat at David's table, so he gonna be sitting at the table like one of the king's sons. Now God had this in mind, had this plan for this little boy. Now he been in hiding, and now God about to get him out of hiding. Now he gonna be in training, and next thing you know, he gonna be a leader over the Israel. But he gonna be a leader over Judah first, and then the Israel. And so David had said, I'm gonna give you everything that belongs to your grandfather. I'm going to give it to you, but to love and show you love and kindness. And not only that, you're going to sit at this table with me every day. And number kings sit at this table. And this little boy, he don't know how to take this in because he think he unworthy. Now, David's treatment of this son show as a leader. He just got in seat now. He's showing leadership, who accepted obligation to show love and mercy. Now his generous, provision for Jonathan's son, goes beyond any political benefits. Now he might have received, now even after Jonathan's death, David are still faithful to the promise that he made together. So the son bowed down. He bowed down, and he said, what is your servant? That you should notice a dead dog like me. Now, David offered all this stuff to him, and all he think that he is a dead dog. How you think of somebody like me, a dead dog, or disabled? And I'm telling you, don't never think yourself as a dead dog. People talk about me all the time. I still think I'm worthy. You still got to think you still got to think of yourself. Don't never think yourself unworthy. Always say I'm worthy. I'm valued. Because this boy here, he have things wrong with him to disable, and so he think he's not worthy. Receive it. It's hard for him to receive it. This is a whole lot that he have to take in. You got everything he given to you from your grandfather. Then you sitting at the table. You ain't got to worry about being hungry. You getting the skills by sitting at the table. David said you're going to set the table every day. And so he said, how you notice a dead dog like that. Now God going to take the unnoticed. He going to take it to the front. And he going to make you notice. Just like he told David. He made him king. Nobody he was the same way too. But nobody don't know that I'm a king. See, they all know that he was under Saul. So God said, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm going to make your name great. I'm going to make your name great. And see, this little boy don't know. After a while, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. You're going to be known as Saul, grandson. You're going to be rich. You're going to have everything you need. And so he bowed down to himself and token of gratitude, and as a sign of humility, and the sense of he had his unworthiness, to enjoy such a favor. Now, all this stuff was offered to him, and he think he not worthy. He said, all this unworthiness stuff to me, I can't even receive the joy of favor. He couldn't even receive the joy of favor. You are worthy. No matter what God chose to unnotice person. and God make them stand out. So don't never think you unworthy. Don't never think you nothing. Always think that you are enough. You are enough. And you're gonna sit at that table with them kings and eat your meal, and you're gonna act like one of the king's sons. You're gonna fit in. Now this for anyone. Don't never feel like you is not worthy. When someone bless you, receive it. When someone offer you a seat at the table, accept it. You sit there, like you belong there. God opened them doors, and you just filling in, just come from being poor and all this kind of stuff. You sit there like you belong there. You sit there like you belong there. Sit among the kings like you one of their sons. And sit at the table like you one of the queen's daughters. You sit there and act like you belong there. Don't act like you out of place. You act like you belong there. You sit down and cross your legs. And be proud. And be proud that God chose you to receive this kind of blessing. Now you are not a dead dog. Don't never think you're a dead dog. You're not a dead dog. Build your child. You is a child of God. You're not a dead dog, but you're a child of God. And so then the king summoned Zebul that saw servant, and said to him, he told him, I have given the master grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. He had to let him know, because that's a servant. He probably watching over Saul's stuff. So that's why he was letting them know. I give the grandson everything that belongs to Saul. Now David had let Saul's servant know, that he give invitation to the king table, and he also let him know he's gonna be sitting at the table with us. I give him all the stuff. I give him an invitation to the table. Not tomorrow, but for every day. So he gonna be at the table every day. I'm just letting you know he gonna be at the table every day. The same table where all us sit at as kings. Now he gonna be sitting at that table. He gonna be sitting at the table with all us. All us kings. I'm just letting you know there's gonna be an extra chair at the table. So you and your son, cause he have a lot of children. He got 15 sons. You and your son and your servant are to farm a land for him. Now he letting the servants know everything is for him. So I need you and your sons, to show him around. It's big, so you have to ride to the thing to show him around and show him a spot for him and his family to live in. And bring in a corpse, so that your master, grandson may be provided for. So now this son, the grandson of your master, will always eat at the table. So Zebul had 15 sons and 20 servants. So he got 15 sons gonna help him show this boy around. And then some of his servants gonna be his servants. Now, he left from the small island. They don't say nothing about his nurse. We don't know if she's still alive or what. But God took him from out that small island, and God took him into a land with blessing. Took him in a land with steak and we gonna steak and chicken and liver. He had a land, eating good. And not only that, he gonna be having his own servants. He gonna have his own servant. So David spoke to the son privately that him and his family to maintain in the land, that he would eat always at David's table. So what he declared privately to the son, but spoke to Zebul publicly. That ain't make no sense, but he had let him know that he give everything that belonged to your master and will be sitting at the table with us. So they will let him know. I know you watching so stuff. So I'm letting you know everything belongs to this boy here. Everything belongs to, and I'm also letting another check gonna be at the table. He gonna be eating with us. All your kings, y'all come together and y'all sit at this table. But now they're gonna have a boy, gonna be sitting at the table eating along with us. So then Zebul, said to the king, your servant will do whatever my lord the king command. So his servant to do. Now the son ate at David's table, like one of the king's sons. David had told Saul's servant, to show kindness, on your master grandson, and honor and equip him on everything. Now he just received, treats, and treat him like one of the king's sons. Now I serve kindness on him. I expect for you to serve kindness on him also. Treat him like one of the sons. Now, the son had a young son also, and all the members of Zebul's house, whole was servant of the son. You know, some some of the Saul's servant, he had so many servants. Now some of the servants gonna be for this little boy here. And so this son, Mephibosheth, he become the representative of the house of Saul. Now, God had made him, God had set this time for him. He grew up to be a teenager, a young man. So God said, okay, it's time for me to get him out of hiding. It's time for me to give him his blessing. It's time for him for everybody to show kindness on him. And so God would do that to an unnoticed person and make him notice. And so God had, it's his time. It's his time. And he become to be the representative of the house of Saul. That's amazing. That's amazing. And he had numerous offspring. The son went from nothing, to owning lands, sitting at the table with kings, and also got his grandfather's servants, So he not only got blessings, he got servants, he's sitting at the table, with kings, eating steaks and potatoes, And so this boy here lived in Jerusalem because he always ate at the table, with kings, and he was lamb in both feasts, But he gonna be living a best life. And David favored his son with unexpected kindness. Powerful servants demonstrate, unexpected covenant loyalty, to a cripple. Now David had a type of Christ. He had a type of Christ at that moment. His kindness to this boy. Now, God hid him, since he was 5 years old, waiting for this time to come. It's his time. That song said, it's your time. So God had him to come out, at the right time, So God always said, at my time, at my divine time, so now it was his right time. It was his right time, and he was lame in both feet, but found sanctuary to live. God saw that he was ready to be honored, and receive the blessing, what God had waiting for him. God said it was ready. He was ready because see, God watched you the whole time. God saw that he's ready. He's not mad, he's not bitter, he's not complaining. God said, okay, it's about time. It's about time. And for him, so God will touch David's heart and say all of a sudden, it's ready for to give some stuff away. That was God's time. God gave him a blessing. Now he owning lands. Nothing but lands and flocks and animals and everything. He owned some of his grandfather's servants. He's sitting at the table. This is a blessing, from a boy that was had nothing, being lame, living in a small land. And God says it's about time for you to come from hiding. It come from you. You don't have to be hiding no more. You know, I had something waiting for you. Since you were 5 years old, I had something waiting for you. Now it's time for you to receive it. And don't think of yourself no days off. It's time for you to receive it. And so this son had went from nothing to become rich. Now he owned lands, he owned flocks, and he owned value and worthy. He with overflowing blessing. Now he would be sitting on a throne. Sitting on a throne. And he is now have his grandfather's service. He sit at the table with kings every day. He are blessed and sit at the table like one of the king's sons. This is something was unexpected. He wasn't expecting this. David coming to meet him. I don't know if he know David was his daddy friend. But David coming to meet him, when he see David, he didn't know what was going on. This was an unexpected favor. He bowed down to David, not knowing. He know David king, not knowing. What David come from. And so David was telling him. And they were telling him why he's here, and why you take notice of him. God took notice of you. When God take a notice of a person, that's unnoticed, and bring him to notice, everybody else had to respect. So that's what David trying to do at his table, at his place. I'm letting you know. You're going to show him respect. You're going to show him kindness because I give him everything. He owned everything. And he going to be sitting at this table. So show some kindness. So David had put this in order. Put that in order. And so that's all I have for you today. That this little boy, that can be any one of our stories. Everybody start from bottom up and work your way up to the top. So you have to show kindness to anybody else that's starting out. And that's what they were trying to let him know. Show kindness. Show kindness. Even though somebody come from zero, a lot of people, come from zero and multi a millionaire, billionaire, everything. You gotta show kindness to the next person that's coming up. Because you got to realize it's God doing. It's God doing. God held that for this little boy. Had planned for nobody but him to receive that blessing. And I talked to you earlier about mail-in vote. They're trying to get rid of that. That's put at the table. But I said, the drop box, they want to reinstate the drop box, and they need to reinstate it, because it's for anyone that can't stand up alone. For anyone that can't stand up a long period of time. And they're elder, or they either sick or weak, it's good for somebody to take to the mailbox and just drop it in. So I had requested, let's make it convenient for all American people, across the nation, to make their ballot, whoever cannot stand in line a long period of time. I request the drop box be reinstated. Okay, and I did talk to you earlier about Kristen Mason. Okay, this is an 8-year-old case. They put her in jail. Put her in jail, said she was illegal on voting conviction, but she did not vote. She understood when they told her that she was she's not able to vote. She understood that she was not eligible, to vote. To mean that she didn't go to the, in the room and vote. And they couldn't even find her body, papers. So I don't understand how they how they convict her and they found no paperwork. They did see they did not give proper deferral papers at trial, but they still convict her. And so she entitled for acquittal, meaning not she not guilty. She not guilty. I request to overturn her case to clear her name. She never voted. And she never should have had served 5 years in prison. So I request her freedom. Freedom. In the near future, you have to be careful. Do the proper paperwork before you convict someone. This lady had to serve 5 years and she have not voted. She understood that she was unable, to vote. And so that's all I have for you today. Be careful. We have all this stuff going on before election. She have not voted. She served 5 years in prison. So give her freedom. And you have to be careful to do the proper paperwork before you convict someone of a legal crime of voting. And this they're trying to take they're trying to stop anybody, from mailing their voting ballot, off the mail. So we got to have that's convenient, for the American people. Let it continue on going on, putting your vote in a box, in a drop box, because this been set since 1980, and then it picked back up, when COVID hit, and so it's safe and secure, and so it going straight to the box. They count it out, it been doing that for years, so let's keep it going, and we talk about sit at the table like one of the kings. He considered himself not worthy. He unnoticed. And like a dead dog. So when God got some blessings for you, don't think you not worthy. Don't think you a dead dog. Unnoticed. We all is unnoticed, like black sheep. That's why God pick us. You're black sheep. You're unnoticed. But who? But God. God will make you notice. Just like with David, I'm going to make your name great. I'm going to make your name great. That's just like Joseph. He promised the job that he was going to be a leader and he was going to be all this. It took a long time, but he got it. He put that dream in Pharaoh that nobody but Joseph would be able to proceed this job. And so God would do that. Don't care about you unnoticed. God will make you notice. God will make you stand out. So that's all I have for you today. Y'all have a blessed and secure day. And I'll see y'all in the next video.